2006 600RR. She's clean. Just put a new paint job on her. Got the OEM plastics I keep stored away. Take her out for a ride. So I got this bike in 2006. Brand new. I believe I paid about $9,500 for it. My wife and I went to a place called House of Power one day. She's like, you know what? Let's try to get it. Technically, she bought it for me. At the time, my credit was shot. I didn't have a chance in hell to get any credit for it. Pretty much I wrote this, and this is all I wrote for about 2.5 years, 3 years. This and that's it. Didn't matter if it was raining, the sun was shining, if it was 30 degrees, it didn't matter, I was on it. And after that 2.5 years, 3 years, I was like, I need a car. Couldn't do it anymore. It was every day, no matter what. It was, you know, I lived that life, just nothing but the ride. I got a car, and I basically parked her. I didn't really want anything to do with her for a long time. One thing that I'd say is that if we're gonna ride a bike, you need to have a car. You gotta have a car for those days when it's raining or 30-something degrees out. It just ain't for you. For me, it made it to where I just got real sick and tired of it. So she sat, and I'd start her up, ride her around the block. Wouldn't do very much. She sat in the garage, and one day I started, wanted to give her a paint job. Went on Craigslist to try to find some OEM plastics. Sure enough, I found a kid that was selling a whole set for $125. First, I was like, there ain't no way that's OEM. There ain't no way. I'm gonna go out there and take a look at it. I called him up. Went out there. First thing I did is switch it over. I flipped it over and made sure it had the OEM plastics stamp on it. As soon as I saw that, I couldn't get the money out of my pocket fast enough. I was like, yo, here you go. 'Cause I had priced them out just to get a whole new set. And at that time, this would have been 2010 or so. 2011. It was about $1,500 for a whole set of OEM plastics. So, put them in a car, took them home, and that's when I went to town. And I'll throw a picture up. This was basically my first job. where I ever did an airbrush and paint job on a sport bike. I had done a little bit here and there, but nothing crazy, just, you know, regular paint jobs. You know, I wouldn't be considered like a professional or anything. But that's what I wanted to do. And even though I painted her and she looked good. I didn't show her off at all. I did the paint job and then she sat in the dang garage. And she sat there for years. And all I do is I start her up, ride her around a block or so, put it back in the garage. And I would say it was probably about a year, a little over a year ago, but no, it was about a little over a year. Yeah, it was about January, February of 22. I got I got a wild hair up my butt, and I was like, man, I want to start riding it again. So I started, you know, I got all the stuff, you know, change the oil, you know, clean the chain up, you know, do a whole breakdown, make sure she was running well before I started riding her. And then I started riding a few times, and then I saw a 21 1000. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to get this bike. And I don't have no clue what got into me. I just was like, you know, I want to try to get it. I'm all about it now. I want to be back in there. I want to be riding it. I want to get another bike. And sure enough, I put out, it was a place down in Fort Pierce. Did it all, everything online. It was the only matte black Honda that was in Florida at the time, at least through the Cycle Trader, which is what I was using to search for the bikes. It was the only one that was available, so I was able to get her, and called up my cousin Chad, went down there, and at this point, mind you, you know, even though I rode for about 3 years, you know, I didn't have, you lose it. You lose that instinct, trying to, when you're riding, how you react and respond. It's almost like a sixth sense when you're seeing things coming. You know, as you're walking up riding up and you see the cars turning left and right or pulling up to the curb. You know, there's little things that, you know, they only come with time, and then you lose it if you ain't riding. So I wasn't even comfortable enough in my mind mentally to ride it back from Fort Pierce to where I stay. So my cousin, we threw it in the back of his truck, and I brought it back. And then ever since then, it's just been every day. Every day that I can, I'll get on it. I'll get on it. I'll either get on 1000 or I'll get on this 600. And I love it. I love it. I think, you know, having the fact that I have a car at the same time and being able to choose and you know, whenever I'm just not feeling up for it, you know, you get real tired, you work all day. You know, I used to say, I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want to get on a bike, go home in the middle of, you know, after I drive for a living. I don't want to get on the bike. I don't want to do that. And sure enough, boy, it's starting to rain on me. You believe this? My God. Well, I ain't gonna go down that way. We turning it around. But ever since then, you know, when I had the option, I can get in the car if I'm tired the next day, or my body ain't feeling it. I've been loving it. I've been loving every minute of it. There ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing like riding a motorcycle. There's a reason why so many people that are in this lifestyle, why they're in it. I mean, you go through a period of time, I think, when you're younger, where, you know, you're all about it. You know, it's got that danger, it's got that appeal. And you know, I'm a little bit older now, and I just appreciate it. I mean, there's nothing like it. You punch that, getting that feeling. There's nothing that gives you that feeling like that. And you're in control, you know. And I can't get enough of it, really. Now, I'm on this 600, you know, and she ain't nowhere near as quick. She ain't nowhere near as quick as my 1000 is. Hello? Yeah, she ain't nowhere near as quick as my 1000. You know. Now, back when I bought this, it was between, I'll throw a picture up. It was between this 1000 and this 600. Got some love from the cruiser side. And when I went to go get the bike, I was dealing with a salesman. And now that I think about it, I'm not sure, because he had to know I was green. You know, in the past I had rode some motorcycles, but it wasn't nothing. It was like, you know, there was one sport bike, I can't remember what it was, and I had my dad bought it, and my mom wasn't having it. She was like, you need to get rid of it, I don't want him on it. And so my dad did. But I think he knew I was green, and I'd like to think that he swayed me into the 600 on purpose. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if that was what he was doing or not. To be honest, it was so long ago. I really liked both motorcycles. And you know, you're like, oh, I can handle it. You know, I can handle it. I can deal with it. You know, and I think that mentality, especially the younger you are, it's kind of like the ignorant side of you. You know, you feel like you can handle all these things, but it's not all about just handling it. You know, it's about getting the experience and riding and learning. And so anyway, when I was there, you know, I kind of was leaning towards 1000, but the 1000 at the time, I want to say it was about 3,000 more, 3 to 4,000. I know he ain't doing that. Is he doing that? He ain't doing that. You better take that 3,000 GT, go home with it. And I think that, you know, the payments were a little bit outside of, you know, where I was comfortable at the time. And I want to say I remember him telling me, like, oh, you know, I don't know if we can finance you on the 1000. Then it may not approve you for it. And I really don't think that was it. I think he was just saying it because he didn't want to put me in that 1000. Which, you know, looking back, I can appreciate that, because, you know, getting on the 600, you know, this bike is plenty fast enough for somebody, especially someone green. You know, I kept it. You know, I've kept it all this time. It's not because it's slow. You know, it will go. You know, if you know how to ride it, you can ride fast. It don't matter what it is. But this here, you know, you gotta keep the RPMs up there. You know, it's not quite the same as on 1,000. You know, you feel the torque and the curve all the way from the bottom to the top. You know, compared to this, you know, you gotta get high RPMs before you're starting to feel it pull real hard on you. So it's not slow by any means, especially for somebody that don't know anything about anything when it comes to motorcycles yet. But I appreciate that I got this bike first, and I know there's all kind of, you know, people out there that are talking about, oh, you know, can you get 1,000 first? Should you get 1,000 first? And do you have a you know, 1,000 or 600? And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's 600 all day for me. If I feel like if you're green, you shouldn't be on 1,000. And in my opinion, the reason you shouldn't be on 1,000 is not because you can't ride it. It's because when you go to throttle up, your potential for a problem comes up on you faster on 1,000 than it will on a 600. That's just my opinion. I mean, it's not really an opinion. That's fact. If I rip on a throttle on 1,000, you know, you're going to go sideways quick if you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing and riding the way you should be. On a 600, you can rip it, you know, and you get a little bit of a hesitation. You know, you don't get that instant. It's wise to be on a 600 first. That's just, I'm gonna leave it at that. But when I got this 600, you know, I love it. You know, I'm gonna keep this bike. I don't see myself ever getting rid of it. I've had people ask me, you know, oh, you want to sell it? You know, I've had people close to me that asked me if I wanted to get rid of it, and you know, as much as I would like, you know, to just add to, you know, getting some of that money, maybe get another bike, you know, another 1,000, or, you know, something different, whatever. It's just every time that I think I'm gonna go ahead and sell it, something pulls on me and it's like, no, you can't get rid of that. So I keep it. So as far as I'm concerned, this is gonna be me to the end, and then when I go, you know, I just leave it to one of my babies, and you know, they'll be able to do whatever they want with it. But for now, it's gonna stay in the stable. But yeah, you know, this is like a first video for me, kind of like doing this moto vlog type style thing. You know, I've been putting up, playing with it. You know, I'm fresh, I'm new. I don't have, like, you know, all the smooth talking and being able to, you know, rap comfortably without, you know, the way some of these YouTubers, they've been doing it for a minute now. You know, they can go out there and they can talk, and it's like it's natural for them. You know, so I'm just learning, but I wanted to put it out there. You know, this is my 600 2006 CBR. I've always been a Honda fan. You know, I know that there's all kind of people that are like, oh, it's Honda. You know, there's a place for them. You know, in the back in the day, they were the most reliable, which is one of the reasons that I picked it. You know, it didn't matter what it was. At the time, I drove a Honda. It was a 2004 Accord that I had. You know, and I went through that whole phase where Fast and Furious, nitrous, doing all the craziness. I'll throw a pic up there. And I loved it. You know, I love all the scenes. You know, motorcycle scene, car scene. You know, everybody, you know, being around each other, having their own styles, throwing it out there. You know, just having a good time. And back then, especially in this town where I'm from, it was real big. You know, everybody was, you know, there wasn't a night a week where you couldn't find somebody in a parking lot parked up and everybody talking, you know, talking about what they're gonna do to their car or their bike or their anything that they got. And I really miss those days. It's been, you know, it's not the same now. You know, you can make some meets now and you can get a similar vibe, but it's not like it used to be. You gotta really plan now to go and do these things. Before, you used to have to plan it. You could just one night get up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go out ride or go around the block, and you just find somebody. So yeah, you know, I just wanted to, you know, start this video off telling you all about the 600, telling you about my bike, a little bit how I got her, a little bit about her, you know. And obviously now I got a new paint job on her, and you know, my skill set with the paint jobs are a little bit better than they were, so you know, I painted quite a few things over time, and I wanted something that was simple, that was custom. You knew it was different, but it didn't look like it was just way out the box. And that's where I came up with this scheme, so to speak. And yeah, that's what I did. I came up with this. I got this color. This color is actually the shock yellow on the Camaros. And then I threw a white ice pearl over it. And then I got a phantom black is the decals that you see. They're not decals, I painted them obviously, but yeah, that's the color. And yeah, that's the color scheme that I came up with. I wanted something to be a little bit loud, you know, with the color, but also smooth. And so yeah, that's what I came up with. And I decided to go ahead and paint over the old paint job. And I'll rock this for, you know, as long as I feel like it. And then if I ever get tired of it, I'll paint something else. But I keep the OEMs wrapped up. Well, they need to be wrapped up. I just took them off, so need to wrap them up, put them up, keep them safe, keep them from getting scratched or, you know, any chips or those stuff. And so yeah. Oh, look at that. Ooh wee. You didn't even put your blinker on, son. Come on now. I mean, I was kind of in your blind spot, but what the and what, now you're gonna act like you didn't see me? And you parked dang 5 car lengths away from the front. Oh, now you're gonna get over there now? Well, somebody come and get this person off the street, please. My God. We all need to be careful out here. Need to be careful out here. That's one thing that you also got to watch is, you know, don't ride in people's blind spot. And I was kind of in this blind spot, so I can't get too mad at them. You know, I was a little bit in the back there, but you know, he didn't change. He didn't put a blinker on. He didn't look. He didn't done. He just got over. So gotta be careful out there. Watch out for these crazy people. 'Cause you know they don't care. They sure don't. They in their own world looking at their phone the whole time. We got NASCAR over here in the Ford. got that Z01 out there. That's all I got for now. I'm gonna do a little couple pulls here and there, head back to the house. And I'll see y'all next time.